the Associated Press did a two-part story on someone by the name of Bryon Widner. And Bryon Widner used to be a white supremacist, and he had tattoos all over his face until he decided, I am no longer a white supremacist, and I want to get rid of the tattoos on my face so I can live a normal life.
If you're no longer a white supremacist, having a swastika on your face might send the wrong signal.
Absolutely. And what I'm always fascinated by is when you hear stories like this, and it's usually the people who are the most outspoken in the white supremacist community, right? And that's exactly what he was described as. He was described as, you know, the most avid white supremacist supporter, like he dedicated his entire life to it. Every single inch of his body had, you know, white supremacist tattoos, like swastikas, razors that have blood on it. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's a staple.
Once again, the swastika on the face gave me a sense that the guy was fairly avid about it.
Absolutely. So what ended up happening is he and his wife, his wife was also involved in the white supremacist movement,
well,
and they
you can't have a strong marriage unless you got to have shared interests.
Shared values.
Right, yes. Absolutely. Right.
Could you imagine if his wife was Asian?
Right, exactly, yeah.
He's like, no, I'm against blacks and Jews and stuff like that, but this Asian girl's really hot.
Right. I couldn't help myself.
My smoking Jamaican wife.
So he needed help to get these tattoos removed off his face, right? So what did he do? He actually went to the Southern Poverty Law Center and asked for help.
Wow, that is interesting.
Morris D's organization there.
Right, and the organization at first was reluctant to help him, right? Because they said, oh, look, we've had a lot of fakers, people who come and tell us that they have changed.
Morris, there's a guy with a swastika on his face at the door.
Yeah, he went to the Anti-Defamation League first.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out for him, so he went to the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, by the way, if you don't know, tracks discrimination in this country.
Right. Mm-hmm. So he asked them for help, and as I mentioned, at first they were reluctant, but as they continuously listened to his story, they realized, no, this guy is genuine. He wants to live a normal life, and he wants to put his past behind him. So a woman comes forward who wants to be a donor, and she wants to pay $35,000 to help him remove the tattoos from his face.
Wow.
Right?
I would have spent the money elsewhere, but it's a good thing.
So here are the pictures. That's him before, and of course at the very end you see him after all of these surgeries he had. All in all, he had about 20 surgeries, and he had to be under general anesthetic, so he wouldn't feel the pain as they were, you know.
Removing the tattoo from his neck?
Yeah, he had tattoos everywhere. Every inch of his body is covered in tattoos.
I don't see anything racialist. Am I missing it?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you are. Look, they have all these different codes. They're like, oh, a cardinal means I hate Indians. You know, a TV means I hate Jamaicans. You know, they've got codes. We're unaware of their codes.
So you're like, the arrow means something that I, well, obviously.
Of course, arrow means I want to kill all the Indians.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
That's a wild progression. He looks best, let's be honest, in the third from the last one. Like that's where he kind of hit his zenith. He's got some color. He's got a little bit of scruff.
Still looks like a badass.
I will say this: it looks like a completely different person. Like the guy in the third from the last picture, he looks like a Mexican guy. In the last picture, he just looks like a white guy.
No, but that's another great irony here. They've made the white supremacist more white.
Yeah.
But by the end, he looks like an accountant.
Yeah.
Like they almost did too good a job. And they're like, okay. And he's like, now I got to go and figure out balances and deductions. And he's like, look at me.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be an accountant. He's not going to go work for a bunch of Jews. But bounds a reason.